Okay, this is the kind of video which is actually quite hard to make because it covers a subject which is complex and controversial, but on the other hand, sometimes I think these things actually have to be said somehow. Obviously, the subjects I'm talking about in this video is to do with human health and sort of like that sort of thing, so I'll fit in the quick disclaimer right now. I'm not an expert, okay? I'm just a human being who's been trying to accumulate knowledge because of the situation of his life. Uh, but on the other hand, I'm just like a face on the internet, okay? I'm just a person on the internet. So you can't get complete and total information from just one face on the internet, alright? You understand where I'm coming from? Always go to your doctor, recognize I'm not a professional or qualified medical practitioner, and so on and so forth. Okay? Do your own research, your health is in your hands, and so on and so forth. But I'm coming from a place whereby I've got aspects of my health which cannot 100% be dealt with by the regular medical profession. Okay? And even some aspects of the complementary health world is not necessarily very equipped to deal with it. So I've had to learn to the best of my ability how to manage aspects of my health all by my little self, which is one of the many reasons that I ended up in the sort of like more eccentric part of the spiritual worlds that I ended up in during my earlier days, which then led to me being to where I am now, and so on and so forth. It's complex. But if I knew now what I knew then, and I had the stability and the financial ability to be able to make the right decisions for myself, what would I have done? Okay. Firstly, the key sources of reading that I would do, and this is again just an opinion, okay, but look into these 3 books. Firstly, from Hulda Clark, The Cure for All Diseases. Obviously a bit of a dramatic title for a book, but look at it, read it. The next one is by Marcus Rothkranz, and it's called Heal Yourself 101. Okay, they're both free and available on the internet. If you're on the internet, you've got no excuse, you can just get them and you can read them. Okay, Hulda Clark, Marcus Rothkranz, The Cure for All Diseases, and Heal Yourself 101. Now, I don't do what those 2 authors talk about because of various different social and cultural reasons, okay, reasons of personal history. Another book would be The Gerson Therapy by Charlotte Gerson. Okay, that one you'll have to buy. I don't think it's freely available online. Why are those books important? Because they explain some dynamics about how disease operates and how healing could hypothetically operate, which might possibly give you some inspiration. Whether you do it or not, that's up to you. Compare and contrast what all those 3 authors suggest. Okay, Marcus Rothkranz writes in a certain style for his style of audience, and there's some things in there which are a bit of an exaggeration, so you have to accept that, okay? Although it's a fun little book to read. But you have to think about what each section is talking about and why it's saying it, okay? So think it through as you go through it. Even though you can read the whole book in 90 minutes, you can probably, you'll need to go into it in greater detail. What else would I suggest? There are these various diploma mill courses online, which don't qualify you to do anything. But they may cost like £10 or £20 and that sort of thing. And it's basically like a textbook with multiple choice questions at the end. Do them. And look out for ones focused on things such as diet, nutrition, and herbalism. Because that should be the 3 things you should be looking into, in my opinion. You don't do these courses to become qualified in something. You do this online reading in order to focus your mind upon what's important and what's really beneficial. That can then provide you with a bit more information about how to look after yourself. Then there's the question of what other therapeutic things that I have come across in my life over the past few years have actually proven themselves to be beneficial. Proven themselves by experience to be beneficial. That is primarily zapping and rifing. Okay? From the point of view of zapping is concerned, you've got the Doncroft zapper, which is relatively cheap. It gets some pathogens objectively. Not all of them, but it gets some of them, so that's possibly a thing to look into. The Haldeclark zapper as well definitely does target some things. A 4-hour session following her protocol cleared my digestive system out of all kinds of negative stuff, and it's been whoom. It's just like a lot of evil just came out of me. Now, if these things can help to reduce the quantity of evil inside your body, the sick, toxic, pathogenic stuff, then it makes some sense, intellectually, all right, creatively, hypothetically, that there is some healing benefit to using things such as the Haldeclark zapper and the Doncroft zapper, okay? The other one is the Bob Beck protocol. This is something which is interesting. I haven't done the full protocol myself. My feeling about it is that, rather like zapping, it can help to improve some aspects of your well-being. Okay, so that requires the magnetic pulsar, but mainly it's the blood purifier for the wrist, which does do something. I mean, the early experiences I had with that were pretty astounding, seriously. So that's something else to look into, the Bob Beck protocol. And finally, Spooky 2. Namely Rife therapy, and I'm using that right now. And that has proven itself to be of use and assistance with some of the key problems I've got. Again, like that does take learning and experimenting and playing with, but it's something which has some real key benefits. So that's essentially what I would do, what I would have done, a quarter of a century ago or longer when dealing with things like candida and leaky gut and chronic fatigue and all that kind of stuff. Okay? Yes, there is an attraction to go towards things like spiritual healing and radionics and that sort of stuff straight away. But the bottom line is no. That is something you maybe want to do afterwards to help your energetic system so that you won't or be less likely to get problems again in the future, maybe. But essentially, the foundational stuff has got to be the learning to do with diets, nutrition, herbs, and the electrical therapies of Doncroft, Bob Beck, Haldeclark, and Rife therapy through Spooky 2. This is what I would personally suggest based upon experience. Some of the experiences I've had with zapping and rifing have been informative. Okay, to put it mildly. Some of it's been quite frightening in some cases, but it's all proven to me that this is something which is very, very useful alongside everything else your doctor is recommending. So, those are your sources of information. That's what you should be looking into. Those are the books and the rest of it that I think is important for you to read full stop. I mean, I know, let me just put in a little bit of kind of politics here. When I was very young, by comparison with how old I am now. Okay, when I was about 18 or 19, alright, I'd had a few weird experiences, which then led me to join a few witchcraft groups. They carried on saying that their stuff was really, really powerful and their stuff worked. But if that was the case, why didn't they cure me? Especially when I told them what was wrong. They didn't know. The real wisdom will come from the learning that you go through when you dedicate yourself to thinking about everything I said in this video, and not just through listening to a bunch of religious lunatics who say that they're wise. Okay. So, get those books. Okay? Download Heal Yourself 101 by Marcus Rothkranz. Think about everything he says. Read The Cure for All Diseases by Haldeclark. Think about everything she says. That's free. Out there online. Okay? Get yourself a copy of The Gerson Therapy by Charlotte Gerson. Buy it. That costs money. And then start looking into the Doncroft Zapper, the Haldeclark Zapper, the Bob Beck Protocol, and Spooky 2. Okay? Which, by my understanding and experience, is fascinating and weird. I mean, I was like the most unbelievably skeptical person when it comes to Rife therapy and zapping. I mean, just like total, this is rubbish. You know, that's where I was. I'm not there anymore. Okay, full stop, finito, the end. I'm not in that place anymore. I'm in the place of this is important. Okay, this is stuff I should be doing. This is stuff you should be doing. And this is the kind of research you should be doing as well. Okay, because like if you do care for your ability to improve your well-being, which you should be doing, okay, as well as all the other fun stuff such as mindfulness meditation and meditation with color therapy and chakras and all that stuff, which I think is very beneficial generally, okay. And of course, if you've got the time and the energy, go and see a spiritual healer and all that kind of stuff, which is good. All right, Reiki has effects, but there's more direct ways of helping yourself out here. Okay, and me coming from the place of a person who has a history of like quite scary health problems he's had to look after and had to fight. Okay, I've come to knowledge through experience and experimentation that these ideas are as close as possible to the way in which we forgive the phrase, but should actually be living. Okay, I don't like using the word should. It sounds like an order. Maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm giving an order. Okay, but think about what I said. Read Marcus Rothkrantz. Read Haldeclark. Okay? Read Charlotte Gerson. Look into zapping. Look into rifing. Look into the Bob Beck Protocol. Okay? Do these things. Remember, I'm not a medical practitioner. But I'm someone who has, like, oh my god, things have happened. So I'm telling you now what I should have known over a quarter of a century ago, or earlier in life. Okay? Just do it. And let me know in the comments afterwards, what your thoughts and experiences are after a long time of being dedicated and focused to trying to find stuff out this way and living this kind of lifestyle. And I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.